explain this. Okay, I'm going to explain this. I'll put this on this will go on Arete Throws Nation, okay? The difference between the shot and the disc. Now, why it's more rotational because it's a smaller ring, clearly, okay? But the other thing is the ball is here. So even though the ring is a foot shorter, the implement, depending on how long the arm is of the athlete, but it's a minimum 2.5, 3 feet away, okay? So the discus becomes more, it has to have a longer push, right, into the throw because I got to drag it and separate it this way. But when you're trying to stay as long as possible in the shot, well, the ball's sitting on top of you, so your linear motion are shorter points of linear movement, but you still have to be long. So it's interesting where you're long and the ball is moving on the longest path this way. Okay, so even though you're a little bit more rotational, you're still linear. So that's what's tricky, and that's why throwing the shot and the disc is totally unnatural. That's why I do think it's always best to start out learning the shot as a glider, because it teaches you how to push and be here. And I've seen a lot of kids, young kids that are talented in the discus, that learn how to throw the shot put straight out of a spin. They always kind of rotate out. They don't have that same type of connection that you'll develop when you start with the glide, because it's still, the trick with both throws is to be able to create that linear component through rotation, right? You're rotating into a line, and then you're rotating out again into another line. I basically explain it as 2 J's. Start in the back of the throw, it's the curve, it's the straight point of the J, you land, you curve again on the J, and you drive it out. Okay, so it's 2 J's, and your J's just a little bit, got a shorter straight part on the shot. And that adjustment is what's tricky for young throwers. So it's really important to be able to understand those changes, and then it becomes easier for them. But even last year when I had Matt Katnick throwing 72, he had such a natural gift for the shot, and he was a pretty good discus thrower. I mean, he threw 183 feet last year, but we didn't spend as much time on the discus because it kind of conflicted with his shot put rhythm, and he was one of the best shot putters in high school U.S. history. So it was like, well, that's where he's exceptional, and he's good at the discus, but he's exceptional in the shot. So we put the emphasis there. And so that's the tricky aspect of it. So if you're going to do both, how do you make these changes? And we still got him improved from, I think he went from 168 feet to 183 feet last year, and he went from 65 to 72. So I mean, he still had a great season either way in both events. And he PR'd at the biggest meet of the year for high school here. It was California State meet. So all right. So those are the main things. Now, let's get you to focus on. Let's go to a South African.